Recognizing body vibration, body talk. When we see the signs in our body, then we start to see the attachments. If you learn to get into the flow of nature, then you can feel the vibration of the neutral energy that feeds all energies. But when you have no attachment, you can feel the passion, the inspiration, the wealth, the health, and the enjoyment that comes from flowing and being at peace. So the first part is to learn about body signs. If you imagine that your body is like a brain, and so it can act independently and start to trigger certain thoughts and certain actions. When we have attachments to the body, it starts the process of trying to detach. What it tries to do is to get you to learn the lessons and get you to see the bigger picture to why you have an attachment. If too much negativity is being pumped into different areas of your body, this is when illness can be caused. This is when the brain gets involved, because the brain is a learning machine. It's a machine that basically takes on board the information given from the body and then starts to attract people and situations to solve. If it's unable to do this, it starts to panic, because it knows that if the body starts to deplete, then often the brain will be given up as well. So basically, the brain is just the middle person, as we are to spirit. So once we start to recognize signs in the body and act accordingly, we then do not over pollute our body with negativity. This then causes it easier for us to flow once more and to start to heal the areas. So look for the signs around the body. I have gone to the main areas of the body to give you a little bit of insight, but when you trace the information and the attachment, you will start to make your own list up. So the main areas that I've looked at is the feet. The feet represents making steps forward, I am told. It is our first step, it's the way of movement. It feels like we are stuck when we have an attachment to it. It feels that we can't move forward. That could be in relationships, that could be in a lot of things. But it's the movement of ourselves. We're frightened to make that commitment. We're frightened to make that step. Then, because the Achilles is so close to the feet, I've included this because we've all heard the story of the Achilles heel. We've always heard the weak point, and that is what's stopping you. It's the weak points, it's your fears and doubts that's stopping you, is when the Achilles start to work. It's when you've tried to go back to old things and it doesn't work because you're holding on to past glories, which doesn't help you move forward. It stops you from moving forward. Then we've gone on to the knees. The knees support and movement. It's adaptability. It's able to move in a different direction. When we're stuck in a rut, when we're going round in circles, our knees start to hurt and click and one thing another. Because we're being too rigid. We're not being mobile enough. So this is the sign of attachment there. When we go to the reproductive area, it's the needs and wants and desires. It's the we're not getting what we want in relationships, in friendships, in one thing or another. When this area has attachments, it's all to do with what we want out of life and the material side of life, and we're not feeling that we're getting what we need. Then if you go on to the stomach area, this is a sign of fears, signs of emotional hang-ups and build-ups in this area. This area is supposed to be for signs, but when we have an attachment, it's what we emotionally hold on to. This can range from a lot of things, and it can even when we eat. It's funny how when we're wanting love, we tend to eat certain foods, but this is a false illusion because then the stomach needs to get rid of it. And if it has an attachment to the negativity of the food, then basically it will store it in an area. So when your stomach goes, then you know that there's signs of emotional turmoil and emotional issues that we're holding on to. So every part of a problem in life can be felt on the body. This is the secret to it all. Then we go to the heart area, and this is where we have broken hearts, fear of love, not being loved. These are all attachments that we can clear out once we recognize. So when your heart starts to, and you get palpitations, this could also be for past life as well. And if we have acid attacks, this could have been that we were poisoned in a past life. So look for the attachments that's confirmed with the heart. Then we move up to the throat area. This is where people are not listening to us, or we're not being heard, or what we say people are just ignoring and not taking on board. So when we have an attachment in this area, that we feel that we're not being able to play our part in life or share because nobody's listening to us, or we're feeling lonely, then we have problems with our throat area. These are attachments there. The third eye we move on to. No vision, no future. We worry about what we're going to do. We're not receiving. It's all about giving us insights. And so when we feel that we're not doing what we want in life, that's when the third eye starts to affect. Then we go to the head. Now the head is basically to do with pressure. It's to do with stress and stopping the flow. Your head comes into effect when it's like it can't cope with enough negativity, or it's worried, or there's certain stresses that will affect the brain. That's why we get migraines and headaches, or if we've been bashed on the head in the past life. The brain is basically when it's overworking or overthinking due to the fact it's got too much negativity because you're not flowing. If we then move on to the non-attachments, then if we go back to the feet, then we realise that that's about experience, about our journey, about exciting steps. It's when we see life a little bit different that we have no attachments in our feet. Then we move on to the knees. This is where we feel that we're being supported, and we're flexible and adaptable, and we know that every situation is easy to manage, and we know that we'll always keep moving, so we have no problems in this area. Then we go to the reproductive area. That's where we feel unconditional love, our purpose, immaterial sharing, new beginnings. So when these areas are feeling good, this is when we have no attachment and we're actually flowing quite well. In the stomach areas, we get instincts and gut feelings. This is our powerhouse. This is where the guidance is, where we're shown where to go in life, and so that we could feel it on our bodies. If we then move on, the heart is free flowing, filling with love. We feel happy, we want to sing, and we get confirmations. This is all in the heart area. Then if we move on to the throat area, this is where it's good communicating. We're enjoying what we're doing. We enjoy communicating. We might even try to create things, and we might even start to do things using our voice, or even just listening to music, listening to people. We don't need to talk anymore at times as well, sometimes when we're really flowing. So we're quite adaptable because the throat is the communication area. Then we move on to the third eye. When we have no attachment, we see visions, we get good visualization, we get insights. We see the world for what it is and not what we see through our eyes. Because we're getting insights now, because we're flowing and we're just enjoying life and seeing the good in life and the good in people. Then when it comes to our head, we just become a learning machine. We're not worried about life, we're not worried about what we created, we're just enjoying the journey, the stillness, and we start to see the big picture. So when you start to have all these areas with non-attachments, you start to feel different in your body, and you start to feel more healthy, and you can start to put the vibration of new energy in. When you have no attachments, you then can ignite the body through near the heart and just flow the energy of non-attachments by using such words as wealth, health, passion, inspiration, peace, harmony, enjoying life, laughing, doing all the things automatic, you can feel it on your body. You can feel how you're enjoying life. You know when you have no attachments. So this is good for signs and understanding that your body